Once upon a time in a silent night, there was a star in the sky, a sparkly red star. The star falls down from the sky and crashes into the balcony of that room. And there was a beautiful lady sleeping there. Then the shadow appeared inside. It was a handsome demon from the sky. The demon reaches the face of the lady and says that he already found her. He was floating above the lady and kissed her. The lady was shouting out loud, calling his parents. Then she said that there was a man who kissed her, and her mother was asking her if it was just a dream. She answered her mother that it was not because she punched it in the face, and the good thing she learned a martial art. The demon was at the top of the roof, and simply said he would see the one tomorrow. At the school the student was in the front gate. Then she was confused about what they were talking about outside of the campus. His friend called her. She was Soan, the main character of the story. Her friend asked what she was doing there, and her friend said that there was a new hottie in town. Then he answered that's why there's a crowd at the gate. Her friend was saying that the guy totally looks like a rock star, but even better. The guy was standing outside of the gate since early in the morning and might be waiting for someone. And she was surprised, because the man was so handsome, and she guessed that the guy must be a celebrity. The guy looked her in the eye, and finally made a move. The guy was walking towards her and simply touched her ear and asked her if she slept well last night. And now she realized that she was not dreaming, because the guy was the one who kissed her last night. She tries to kick the guy in the foot, but unfortunately, the guy says that his kick was weaker than usual. Then the guy asked her if she remembered him, with the same face and voice. She wasn't dreaming that the guy was the one who kissed her. Then she said that it would make no sense. The guy who kissed her last night had 2 horns, she must be mistaken about it. The guy grabbed her hand and went inside the campus. They were just roaming around. Soan was asking the guy to let go of her, but the guy didn't listen. They were still walking around until the guy lifted her on the shoulder. They enter the classroom and the teacher asks her why she is late and who was the guy at her back. The guy was looking at the teacher's eye and controlling his mind, and the teacher said he was the new transfer student. And everyone was freaking out. They were talking about Soan. Then he introduced himself. He was Hyeon. The teacher found him a seat. Then he was at the back of Soan. Soan was bothered, because Hyeon was at the back of her. When the classes ended, Hyeon was still following Soan. Then Soan was ignoring the guy. He always follows Soan at the canteen, at the comfort room, and he is always guarding Soan anywhere. Then Soan wanted to talk to Hyeon, asking Hyeon that she was the wrong person he was following and asking why he always followed her. Then Hyeon answered that he wanted to protect her, because he was his guardian demon. That he has been searching for her. He pushes Soan and leans her against the wall of the building. Hyeon changed his appearance. He turned into a demon face, and Soan was surprised, asking if Hyeon looks like that or if she is dreaming again. She pushes Hyeon and asks that his hair was that long and where his clothes go. She held the horn of Hyeon and was still asking if this was true. Then suddenly a flower vase from the top fell to the head of Hyeon and the flower vase was broken and crashed into the ground. Ina called Soan, then saw them talking. Soan checked if Hyeon was okay. Soan was holding the face of Hyeon while they're talking. It was the end of the classes and still Hyeon was following her, and asked again why he is still following her, and Hyeon answered again that he wanted to protect her, because he was his guardian demon. Soan was laughing and said that Hyeon was his biggest threat of the day, and there is no hell he could follow her in their house. Hyeon felt something around. The windows were cracking. Soan saw it and thought that Hyeon did it. She was pleading with Hyeon to quit following her. But suddenly the glass of the window shattered and broke, slowly falling. Then Hyeon actively covered Soan to protect her. He squeezed it so tight. And suddenly the causes of the accident had faded away. Then Soan complained that she can't breathe and Hyeon let go of her. Soan was shocked by what happened and she thought that there must be a little earthquake happens. Hyeon whispered to her and asked if she was okay. Then Soan answered that she was. Then Hyeon said to Soan that her ears were her weak spot just like before. Then Soan answered that it was weak because he was doing something weird to her. Her ears were so sensitive that if someone would touch she would beat them to a pulp. And he punched Hyen to the face and said to his mind that it seems the guy doesn't feel any of his blows. Then Hyen said that he will escort her back home, she has no longer to deny, because the man lifted her back to their home. When they arrived at the house, Soen says to Hyen that he can put her down now and says thank you for protecting her back then. Having a guardian demon might not be so bad for her, but she still doesn't trust him. The two of them were in front of the house, then the dad of Soen saw them. Hyen actively stares at the eye of Soen's dad and hypnotized it. Then Soen was shocked because her father was laughing and saying that they would come in. Her father cooked for them. Her parents recognized Hyen and were saying that it's been a long time since they haven't seen Haeyeon and he is much more handsome now than they remember. They were asking if he missed their little Soen, and Hyen replies that he really missed Soen very much. Soen asks her parents if they even know the guy and they answer that they do because he was Soen's childhood friend. She asked Hyen of what he does to their parents and Hyen says that he simply hypnotized them because he'd like to stay by her side. Holding the hand of Soen, then her mother says that the parents of Hyen will be abroad for a year and said to feel comfortable and sleep in Soen's room for the night. She was in the bathroom cleaning his body and his mind was thinking about her parents saying that they will be sleeping together with Hyen. Asking herself what she should do, she opened the door and she wondered where his Hyen was and where did it go. Then Hyen appeared on his back hugging her and kissed her on the head. Soen asks Hyen where he went, then Hyen answers that he went out to her parents. Hyen turns off the light and on the nightlight because Soen always wants a nightlight when she sleeps. Kissed the forehead of Soen and said good night to her and Soen asked Hyen if just wanted to sleep so that she could get him some blanket and pajamas. Soen was talking to Hyen that she didn't understand why any of this happened, why he was saying that he will protect her and even know her in the past. Then Hyen says to her that she was not a normal human, that she fell from heaven for the sin of being in love with him. And Hyen says that he has been searching for her for 900 years. When the morning comes the two of them were on the bed, Hyen was hugging her and she was asking him to let go of her. Then asked Soen if she slept well. She was in the shower and she was thinking about what Hyen said to her last night and asked herself if it is true. The time was running and she would be late, she was dashing off to school and didn't have breakfast at her house. When she was on his way Hyen was behind her dashing too just to guard her safely down to school. Then Hyen grabbed her and flashing onward so that she could never be late. They arrived in front of the gate and she was saying thank you and giving him a squeezy hug. And after they appeared and got inside the campus right away. And Soen thinks that she was in love with the guy and says that this can't be happening. She takes it all back and she will not like him. They were at the sports ground playing soccer. Soen was good at playing but Hyen was much better than her. She drank water and Hyen grabbed it because he was so thirsty. Soen was angry and suddenly walked out, then she saw a group of men bullying a student, she walked through and kicked it in the faces. The boy was saying thank you to her. His heart was beating fast, then Hyen appeared at his back and hugged her, and he says that Soen always thugging people when she was angry just like before. Soen said to him to stop saying weird and nonsense things because she was not in the mood. Hyen hugged her and said sorry for what happened and don't be angry again, and suddenly she said that it was okay now, she was okay now and said to Hyen, don't worry. And the guy said thank you sweetly to her. There is something dark appearing at their back, a demon who's talking to them, he wants the human flesh of the strongest of all divine powers, because her strength remains intact even though she was banished from heaven. Hyen uses his power to defeat the devil. The air was so strong all of the students wondered what was going on, the glasses of the window shattered. Inha was shouting for Soen, then Hyen took her to a safer place to land. The devil was defeated, and all of the students saw Soen and Hyen floating in the air. Soen was afraid that the campus would know the identity of Hyen. She asked the guy if he has something to do with the students so that they can't remember what happened. Hyen flicks his hand and all of the students fell asleep and he says that if they woke up they will think that it was all a dream. She is now trusting the guy for all of what has been said. She hugs him and says thank you for saving her again. The back of Hyan has wounds. They needed a rescue, but unfortunately Hyan teleported her somewhere. They appeared to a place where there were so many flowers and plum blossom trees. Hyan was above her because she fainted. She wanted to find some herbs so that she could give Hyan first aid, but the guy didn't want him to go. Someone said to him that she needs to find some herb to heal his wound, and promised to come back. She ran fast finding a herb, finding it was taking her so long because it was hard to find. Then suddenly she saw the herb, but she was thinking why it has a corner and what it was for. He leaps and gets the herb she wants and she needs to go back now to save Hyan. But unfortunately the ground break then fell, the herb was thrown away then she shouted a no. She was surprised because the herb came back into his hand and she was floating back up. She wonders why she has this kind of power. Whenever she ordered her power it worked. The tree was a 100,000-year-old plum blossom tree. It's been centuries since he returned to the place, all of his wounds were healed in just a few hours. Then Someone fell into his arms. Hyan was asking her where did she go, then she answered that she was finding some herb to heal his wound. Hyan raised the hand of Someone and the herb fell, then Hyan asked her if he uses his divine power and Someone said what power he was saying. The guy knew that Someone would regain her memory in the place. The weird fabric spell was the part of her power and she was the one who could control it. She was asked if she remembered a little bit, her mind was disturbed and she felt exhausted when everything happened. Hyan asked her if she was okay, and she answered that she was okay. He thought that she was completely badly hurt but it was not. She feels bad, because she went through just to get that herb and Hyan said that the tree heals his wounds just like Someone did for him. Hyan said that a millennium ago, his wounds from long ago opened back up. But they healed sooner or later. And Someone was thinking that if it is a wound that was so long ago and can open back up, maybe they can find something to heal it completely. Then Hyan said to her that 100,000 years ago, celestials and demons were divided by a great war, drawn to each other, they went again what was forbidden. They met in the plum blossom tree to grow their love for each other. Then Hyan asked her if she liked him, and Someone said why would he ask it all of the sudden. And she suddenly answered that of course she likes Hyan, he was just relentless sometimes, and hugged Hyan. Then Hyan said to her that he can tell all about everything between them, but she was the one who can truly understand how it felt. Kissed the hand of Someone, and the fact that she was a celestial being doesn't matter, and it was not important if she remembered or not. All he wanted was for Someone to remember their love. The memories, the moments, the confession, and the emotion that they shared with each other. If she could recall even half of what happened, she will understand how it feels. And said that allows him to love her and that's all he ever needs. He kissed Someone. Someone was saying that Hyan was always talking about things that happened 100 years ago, but for her it only lasted a few days. Pinching the face of Hyan and Giggly said it was very ridiculous that she had fallen in such a short period of time. Then Hyan said that he'll just wait as long as it takes, after all he has waited those 900 years. Simply hugs Someone, and whispers even if Someone doesn't remember he still loves her company. Hyan asked her if she didn't feel anything when she summoned the artifact, then she answered that not really, it didn't feel like it did what she wanted to do, and guessing it saves her life though. It went back within her, it had been lying dormant all those time. And as everyone suspected, the divine power that she has as a celestial has been hidden within. As everyone suspected, her strength remains intact even though she has been banished from the heavens. And as a guardian demon, he will always protect her of everything. Someone continued remembering everything as far as she can. Even if the person doesn't remember you, as long as there is love remaining in your heart, the world would never separate your heart from each other.